Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I built a $100 million government contracting pipeline for my business and how I do the same for a lot of businesses that I work with. I'm going to show you a proven framework for proactive business development and government contracting. I don't see the process that I'm going to show you right now discussed a lot, but every business that is establishing government contracting, they apply this process in a way or another. So let's get into it. First, I'd like to shift the mindset because it changes everything. So we have two approaches in government contracting. And mind you, I want you to do both. But the approach that I'm going to show you today is not actually discussed, or you probably don't have it part of your government contracting process. What we all discuss and what everyone on YouTube or even in government forums and stuff like that, they discuss the reactive approach, which is you wait for the RFP to appear on SAM.gov or where else, DIPS, state, local, and education government procurement websites. Then you scramble to respond within 30 to 45 days with limited context. So you have no prior relationship with the government agency. You usually are submitting generic response giving the limited time you have. The win rate is lower because it's reactive and you have unpredictable revenue. You don't know how much the opportunity is worth. You don't get a lot of details about incumbents, stuff like that. Now, what I'm going to show you today is this approach, and we're going to build a $100 million pipeline using the proactive approach. So it's going to supplement the reactive approach. We're not going to dismiss it, but this is what a lot of people miss. And elite contractors position themselves 6 to 18 months early using agency forecasts. They build relationships before the competition begins. So what that means is they have early engagement with the agency. They help shape up the requirements. They have higher win rate between 20 and 30%, and they have a predictable pipeline. They know exactly how much is getting into their pipeline and how much they should expect to win or how much they expect as revenue in the future for their business. The foundation for all of this is forecast data that transform government contracting from reactive chaos into predictable strategic business engine. Your goal is to build a rolling multi-year pipeline worth of $100 million or more. And that's a guarantee, and that's my guarantee for you. Now, how do we define our pipeline goal? Now, I'm establishing a goal of $100 million, but obviously every business is different. But I don't think that $100 million pipeline is strange for any business. We want to establish a measurable objective. So in this case, $100 million by identifying $20 million a year in forecasted opportunities across target agencies. Now, we want to prioritize multi-year contracts and recompetes, each at $5 million. So five-year contract, they add $1 million in annualized revenue to your pipeline. Again, every business is different, so these are my assumptions for what I'm doing right now, but we are talking about a 5-year prospect. We're not just talking about 1 year. And then we want to build rolling coverage. So we want to maintain visibility across every single year. We want to track opportunities in different life cycle stages to ensure consistent revenue growth. I'm going to talk more about this in a second. Now, how do we find the right forecast opportunity for our business? We want something that is a perfect fit for what we do. And that's the first step of identifying this pipeline. For something to get into our pipeline, it has to be a perfect match. It has to be a slam dunk opportunity. So one is we have to identify these opportunities. So we're talking about using NAICS codes, set aside keyword search. I'm going to show you that in a second. Then we want to prioritize strategic timing. Usually we want to target recompetes. And recompetes are contracts that are ongoing right now that expire in the future. An example, we have a software development contract with the Department of Defense, and this contract expires in 2026 in July. So that means that 9 months from now, in July 2026, that contract is going to expire and it's going to open up for competition. So with these contracts, we want to know the incumbent, we want to know the details, we want to know when it ends and how much was it for. We get all of that ideas and all of these details and we add them into our pipeline if it's a good fit. And I'm going to show you the next step of what we do after that. So we're trying to target forecasts for the next 6 to 18 months. We want to build our pipeline with opportunities that are 6 to 18 months. A lot of contracts, as I've mentioned, they go for 5 years. So this pipeline is just for opportunities that are in the next 6 to 18 months, but the contracts themselves, like the period of performance, could span for 5 years. And then I'm going to show you how I use SamSearch to actually do that, to find these forecasts and add them to our pipeline. So what is the strategy that we are talking about? We want to build trusted relationship with the program office before the RFP is on SAM.gov. When it's on SAM.gov, everyone is on it and everyone is trying to communicate with the agency or the program offices, and everyone is trying to say a response, and they are usually busy. When you come in and do your research and you're engaging with them early on. So what this means is first you want to find the contact listed on the forecast. That should be easy if you're using SamSearch. We want to study the program mission, the historical spend patterns for specifically that contract, and current challenges. So we want to know more about them before we reach out. Then once we understand exactly what their needs are, their program mission, the historic spending patterns, then we want to send strategic introduction. So we want to craft a brief, value-focused email. We want to confirm if the forecast is still active and if it's still forecasted for the upcoming year. We want to mention relevant past performances that we have, if any, and we want to offer to share tailored capabilities. they might need help with research. They might need help with getting sources. So if you reach out and you provide a detailed, value-focused email, they would be willing to engage with you, and then we can go to the next step, which is have a discovery call. We want to ask about timing, acquisition vehicle, small business participation plans, if there's any, and then technical challenges. If you're using SamSearch, you'll be able to get this information on the platform, but it's always easier to double check. And the key thing is you want to get more about their technical challenges. If it's a recompete, you want to ask about the incumbent. You want to get more details about the competition. Is there room open for competition? When will it be open? Is it still active? Things like that. And then you're also sharing your expertise, your sources with them. So it's kind of benefiting both of you. Then following up strategically. So once we get the discovery call, we want to send a one-page capability statement tailored to their needs. And we want to reconnect with them every 3 to 4 months with relevant updates, case studies, or industry insights. Because once that RFP is released, they can think of you. Once they see your proposal, your business is at the top of the list because you did all of these steps. You researched, you kind of strategically made a connection and relationship with them, and you took your time with it. Now, finally, once we are doing this, we're doing this for a lot of opportunities for us to actually have a large pipeline, as I mentioned, $100 million. So we're contacting a lot of people. We have multiple forecasts that we are going after. So we have to have a tracking and prioritizing our pipeline. So our pipeline cannot be an Excel sheet. We have to be very organized, and we have to have essential data points. So things like the agency, the contact name, the opportunity title, the estimated value, when it's forecasted to be released. Is it recompete or no compete? Is there a set aside or not? So we have to store this information in each one of these tasks or tickets, let's say. Then we want to classify it. Did we engage with the agency or not? Not contacted is a state. Then we have engaged, shaping, capture, proposal. So we're making sure that if it's a good fit, this opportunity is moving forward from not contacted to we're engaging with the agency. Now we're shaping up the opportunity with the agency to capture, then proposal. Our top 20 to 30 opportunities, we have to have an eye on them. So we have to actively manage those and always be on the lookout, review weekly, update after every interaction, because these are the ones that are most likely we're going to win contracts from. So I want you to get your top 20, 30 that are absolute slam dunk, and we want to keep an eye on them and update them as much as possible. Now comes the recompete strategy. So with forecast, and I've kind of touched on this, which is recompete. What that means is these are contracts that have been awarded in the past to someone else, but now they're expiring, and we want to compete. They're opening up the competition, let's say in 2026, 2027, and we want to compete on them then. So why are recompetes important? One, because we know that they are funded and there's a proven allocated budget for them. So we know that the agency is spending X, Y, and Z on this specific contract. The second thing, it's well-defined and the requirements and the scope is known. And you can know who the incumbent is. So you can get kind of more intel on who they are and what they provided, like the services they provided. And also you have higher win rate because you are engaging way earlier on in the sale process compared to if it was posted on SAM.gov and you just submit a response to it. So we want to find contracts that are expiring within the 6 to 12 months. That's kind of the perfect sweet spot. And then we want to analyze the incumbent. We want to learn more about them, review their performance, understand the pain point of the agency. Then we proactively want to reach out to the agency and try and get contact with the program office before the solicitation even begins. And we want to position ourselves strategically. By developing a relationship, we could help shape up the requirements, propose value add-on, and then we could also propose partnership. And it gets us a chance to actually find partners. If we want to make a stronger proposal or a bid, we have time to find partners that would align strategically for the specific opportunity we're looking at. Okay, so what does this look in practice? So if you're using SamSearch, you'll be able to easily find those forecasts and fill up your pipeline with. Now, you could utilize a lot of different filters. What I like to do is actually use the keyword search. So for example, in this case, I'm not searching for IT services and I'm not searching for software development. I'm not searching for backend development. I'm searching for something specific in that niche because I want forecasts that are very relevant to what I do. I'm not looking at opportunities that could be a good fit. I'm looking at opportunities that are directly related to what I do as a business. The second thing I like to plan ahead. So when we're talking about 6 to 18 months, it's definitely not going to be in Q4 of 2025. It's going to be in 26. So I'm filtering here by the year. If you have a set aside, you should be able to filter by that. So if it's a small business set aside, 8A, women-owned small businesses, you should do that as well. Then you could also filter here, this is important, the requirement type. If you only want to go after recompete, which means that there was an incumbent and now they're opening up the competition again, you could do that. There are multiple other requirement types, but that's the one that I usually filter on. But we're not going to do that now. And then finally, if you have a value requirement of estimated value, how much the contract is going to be valued at, then you could also filter by the contract value. Now, what I like to do is I'd like to go through these one by one. And I also like to do my searches. Sometimes I only want to filter for Q2 so I could organize my opportunities based on the quarter. But let's actually not do that now. So what I like to do is go through these one by one and see if it's a good fit or not and how much value possibly could be in the contract. So this one has a set aside for small businesses. It's for Q2 of 2026, and it's a recompete. The NAICS code is for computer system design services. That's my NAICS code. And then we can see here that they are asking for DevOps services, specifically DevSecOps, which is a slam dunk for me. So what I do in that case is open up this forecast opportunity. I could get more information about it here. And then what I would want to do is start journey. This adds it to my sales pipeline. And I can actually show you what this looks like. You could see here that I have assessment in progress, submitted, one, lost, and whatever. So with this one, the one we just added right now, I like to add description. I like to add contact information. So by default, we're adding the program office responsible for this. So I would like to add more details. For example, I'm engaging with a partnership opportunity with someone else. I like to contact them as well and add their contact information here. Another thing that I like to do is within this, I have tasks. I like to reach out, for example, to the program office. I could add that as a task or send them my capability statement. Just giving you an example, we can set a due date. So we're always engaging and I have all my notes in one place. This way I'm tracking the pipeline I have for forecasted opportunities. You could obviously add tags to it, but let's go back to the search. So you see with each one I'm adding. So I could see this one, for example, is 2 to 5 million. And it's web-based emergency operations center. And I could see here that there's a DevOps component to it. So this could potentially be something that I need to partner on with someone else. It's not for set aside group or it's not defined. So what I can do in this case is get the contact information or start off by just clicking on email contact. I'll be able to directly email them. I could contact this program officer and try and get more information about this. For example, is it still going to be forecasted? Is the set aside defined now or not? And then based on that, I could either add it to my sales CRM or not. So that's how I would build my pipeline. And I would go broad and then I would go smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I could highlight or the ones that I think are slam dunk or perfect fit for my business. And then I could also disregard the ones that are not as important. Some of them might be in between. I need to partner with someone else. So I could contact the agency, get more details about the requirements, because with the forecast, we're not getting solicitation request. We're not getting a statement of work. We're not getting all these details that we would get if it was posted on SAM. So we want to get more information from the agency. So always we could just reach out, contact them, get on a discovery call, send our capabilities, maybe try and shape up the requirements. If we need to partner with other businesses, we could just easily go to the partnership page and find businesses that would be perfect fit to work with on that specific particular forecast. For example, if you want a woman-owned small business in computer services that have experience with the government, we could just do these filters. And now we have all these leads that can also add to our CRM and start contacting to see if they would be willing to partner with us on the forecasted opportunity in 2026. Now, you could also go further than 2026, but my sweet spot, I like to find recompete government contracts that are in the next 6 to 18 months. Usually these are contracts that are expiring and I need to get on them and try and add them to my sales pipeline. Now, what this means, so if we want to quantify this, we would get 100 forecast leads, and of them we have 28 validated engagements. These are people that we kind of talked to the agency, verified that this forecast, it's still on, it's still happening. We know the set aside. We think it aligns directly with our business. Then we start and develop our capture efforts for 12 of them, things that we think are perfect fit for us. We get 12 proposals out. And then of these, depends obviously on the size of the opportunity. As you can see, there's a huge range. Some of them are in the 5 to 10 million. Some of them are in the 10 to 50, 2 to 50. So we have to get more visibility on that. But with each one of these, it would be, for example, a $5 million contract over a 5-year award. So we're talking about 25 million in total contract value. This systematic approach turns forecast into repeatable capture engine. And I can't emphasize enough the strategic advantage you have by actually doing this early on. You are getting insights and info into a lot of information that if you wait until it's posted on SAM or any other procurement website, it's just too late. So start early and win often. We want to begin outreach 6 to 18 months before solicitation. Think of it as you're talking to a client 6 to 18 months before they need something. So in this period, You're trying to engage with them, learn more about their needs, learn more about the incumbent, if there's one, learn about what you could come in and help with. This way, we are influencing the requirements. We're demonstrating what we are capable of doing before the competition formally begins. So we want to be a trusted advisor, not just a bidder. And then we want to track everything obsessively. So every call, every email, every interaction or engagement with the program office or the government agency, we want to document all of that and follow up consistently, because relationship compound over time. We're talking a long sales cycle. We're talking 16 to 18 months. So if you're not monitoring every call, every email, you're going to get lost, because you're tracking, as I've mentioned, hundreds of these opportunities. And if you're not tracking them, with time, you're going to forget. And we want to mine the recompetes. The recompetes are a hidden gem that any successful and elite government contractor, they have a team that does that, because it's the lowest hanging fruit. You know that they're going to release this contract in the future. You know that they have the budget for it and it's funded. And it's a proven need. So really have an emphasis on this, because they have to be majority of your pipeline, because these are the highest quality of leads that you can get. And you just think of forecast as a revenue roadmap. So it's forecast are a revenue in the future for your business if you do them properly. They reveal where $1 billion of government spending is going, or it's going to be spent. So it's very important that you get this information in this intel before your competitors do, because this way, as I've mentioned, you are really positioning yourself to win and you're getting ahead of the competition. I hope this was helpful. If you want to really do this for your business, I want you to pick 3 target agencies, pull all of their forecasts, and as I've shown you here, you could utilize SamSearch to search specifically for a keyword for your business and start engaging early. This is the way to actually build a $100 million government contracting pipeline. And I've shown you the data. I've shown you the estimated value for these contracts. I've shown you when they will be released. I've shown you the contact information. Honestly, it doesn't get easier than this. All you have to do is get access to this, start contacting, and build your $100 million pipeline. Because if you're not, then you are falling behind your competition. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.